What you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what difference you want to make. Good morning, everyone. I am Vanessa Filipante, the chairperson for this debate about the advantages and disadvantages of globalization. From this side, the affirmative, and this side, the negative party.
Introducing the affirmative party.
I'm Darlene A. Babia.
Hi, I'm Jeremy L. Ipanto.
Hi, I'm Rizal Calocoro.
Hi, I'm Rene Polo.
The negative party.
Hello, my name is Christy Perales.
Hi, my name is Ervin Anot.
My name is Irene Magtuba.
My name is Ruby Polpol.
Main arguments. The speakers will be given 3 minutes for each side.
Advantage socially and environmentally. The social dimension of the globalization and refers to the impact of globalization on the lives and works of people, and their families and their societies. Concerns and issues are often raised about the impact of globalization on employment, working conditions, income, and social protection. Beyond the world of work, the social dimension encompasses security, culture and identity, inclusion, and the cohesiveness of families and communities. At the societal level, globalization can be easily seen in the case of the increase in popularity of Korean pop or K-pop. Instead of having a primary presence in Korea and other countries in the continent of Asia, this genre of music has a strong presence on the global level. Some K-pop artists are being invited to perform at America Award ceremonies. Of the most recent of these ceremonies was the Grammy Awards. According to Billboard.com, it is been said that the nomination for BTS Love Yourself marks a major moment of inclusion and appreciation of South Korea's breakout artists. In the other words, this nomination also represents the major effect of globalization, culture, diversity. Cultural diversity is no different. Cultural globalization allows people around the world to unite. The inclusion of various cultures into one larger culture allows for more employment of sample things in life. This is more music to learn to, more media to watch, and even more foods and clothing style to try. Globalization also opens grounds for more conversation to happen around the world. This diminishes prejudices, and therefore, these are the very important social issues that are raised from the humanization of us versus them.
The benefits of globalization for business include expanded customer bases, more revenue streams, and a diverse workforce. But globalization also poses some daunting challenges like environmental law, degradation, legal compliance issues, and worker exploitation. Like, state sovereignty is reduced. Second, the functioning of international and supranational organizations is often not democratic in terms of representation and accountability. Third, big countries can shape decisions in supranational organizations. Fourth, sometimes countries can veto decisions and slow down decision-making process. And last, coordination is difficult and expensive. Some adverse consequences of globalization include terrorism, job insecurity, currency fluctuation, and price stability. Tariff and other forms of protectionism. The 2008 economic crisis led many politicians to question the merits of globalization. According to a McKinsey Global Institute analysis of IMF data, cross-border capital flows shrunk by 65% between 2007 and 2016. The decrease from 12.4 trillion in those 9 years includes declines in lending, FDI and equity, and bond purchases.
The advantage of globalization in terms of economics. Economic globalization echoes the views of neoliberal and neoclassicist thinkers in which states lost prominence and the world becomes a single global market of individual consumers. These consumers are characterized by their material and economic self-interest, rather than cultural, civic, or other forms of identity. The expansion and dominance of global companies and brands is another key feature. These corporations contribute to deepen global interconnectedness not only by uniformly shaping consumption patterns across societies, but by binding economies together through complex supply chains, trade networks, flows of capital, and manpower. Cheaper prices for products and services, better availability of products and services, easier access to capital and commodities, increased competition. Producers and retailers can diversify their markets and contribute to economic growth. The proofs are increased flow of capital. The economic benefits of globalization to much of the world are hard to ignore. Increased trade to larger and more diverse markets results in greater revenues and increased gross domestic product or GDP. World GDP has grown from about $50 trillion. World GDP has grown from about $50 trillion in 2000 to about $75 trillion in 2016, primarily as a result of economic interdependence and increased global trade it allows.
Disadvantage of globalization in terms of economics. Globalization may exacerbate income disparities and inequalities between societies more educated and less educated people, which are undergoing globalization. Economic growth is unequally distributed, while globalization tends to boost economic growth in the economy. The benefits being distributed evenly, richer countries benefit more than poorer countries. There aren't enough local businesses. Globalization policies favor enterprises with the capacity and infrastructure to operate their supply chains and distribution across multiple nations, sometimes including small local businesses. Cons of economic globalization. Some countries struggle to compete destructive behavior of some foreign companies and investors in resource-rich countries, preventing economic diversification. Strong bargaining power of multinational companies, local governments. Contagion effect is more likely in times of crisis. Problems of social dumping. Out of the 24.9 million people trapped in forced labor, 16 million people are exploited in the private sector, such as domestic work, construction,
Rebuttal.
or
Each opposing teams will be given 2 minutes.
4 million persons in forced sexual exploitation, and 4 million persons
Thank you, speakers. So let's hear from the rebuttals, from the affirmative, and then the negative.
Beyond the positive team disagree with the arguments presented, we have proved that their arguments are based on logic that is neither untrue or unimportant. Their first point in socially economic, they say that the farther product travels, the more fuel is consumed, and a greater level of greenhouse gas emission is produced and can contribute to pollution. Climate change and ocean acidification, this is not always true. All of us are aware in climate change, pollution, and in ocean acidification. They are only for negative points on socially economic except its usefulness. There is a source of income in every product travels in different types of countries. The second point was habitat destruction. They say that the development of such infrastructure can lead to issues including habitat, loss, and pollution. However, this is easy to solve. We can combat habitat loss by preserving natural resources and learning how to use them in a way that does not require such frequent destruction of habitat. as quickly as humans can destroy natural habitat. We should be just as willing to support forests the effort to rebuild and attempt to replace what is lost. And the third point is overfishing. They say that overfishing reduces fish population and oceanic pollution. However, we can solve this problem by reform subsidies and declaring certain areas of the sea off limits to non-sustainable fishing are probably the best overfishing solution. In short, controlled fishing by the conclusion to this argument, it is factually flawed. Plutocracy, where money is the basis for classism. This is clearly proven by many exclusive content, exclusive product, and overpriced luxury items that only a select few rich people can buy, including yet various and high-quality medical care. Hence, the 2 points presented are only positivist perceptions on the subject. Globalism does not provide cultural mixture, but only provides cultural stagnation. Globalism does not provide inclusive and equality. It provides a money-based class system. By the conclusion to this argument, it is logically flawed because while giving K-pop as a positive example, it fails to see that it is a commercial genre unlike classical music, which isn't affecting the rest of the world and the youth populations despite its larger exposure to public. Morally flawed because cultural stagnation creates intellectual stagnation, which eventually reduces public's desires for intelligent products and creative growth. Mentally on media, where people support things they recognize and reject things that are different. Disagree with the arguments presented. The so-called more conversation only allows the commercial culture to spread while killing others. The commercially dominant K-pop, club music, and rap taking over many genres and essentially killing those genres is solid proof enough. The lack of creativity and rebooting of movies and video games clearly demonstrate the abandonment of cultural enrichment instead of commercial benefits. The so-called inclusive nature of globalism does not eliminate prejudice. It just changes it from racial classism factually flawed because it doesn't cater in the socio-economic relationship between people and reduces prejudice to only racial relations.
Thank you, rebuttal speakers.
economic and information globalization are the functioning or international financial market. Thank you, Rina Polo.
The impact of economic globalization is the increase in problem product now killing motorists. Do you think there are more advantages than disadvantages in globalization?
Yes, considering the virus developments in the recent world, it is evident that globalization offers more advantage than advantage, economically or another ways. Globalization is mainly used to describe the integration of worldwide economic through foreign investment, trade, and technical exchange. What are the social and environmental issues?
Social and environmental issues is air pollution, flooding, loss of trees, mining contributes to erosion, sinkholes, wastewater disposal issue, all of which can lead to health issues in locality. Do you think those advantages will resolve the negative impact of globalization?
Advantage of technological improvement. These have very similar effects. They raise output in the countries, raise productivity, create more jobs, and means a lower prices of products to the world economy.
Thank you for all the cooperation speakers, formative and negative.